Good Friday morning. My name is Jerry Miller. Welcome to Real Talk. This, an insider's guide to real estate across Charlottesville, Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, and the country. We're live on the I Love CVille Network for the world. Today's program powered by the Yes Team, Keith and Yonna Smith, trusted advisors in the real estate game and just the game we call life. Today's topic, of course, the coronavirus, of course, the economy, of course, Charlottesville and Central Virginia, and the difference between preparation and panic, and the fact that the economy needs our help and is still going in the right direction, and it's something that we need to discuss as opposed to the hysteria. Judah Wickhauer is our director. Judah, studio camera first, and then two-shot as we welcome the distinguished gentleman to the program. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Jerry. I say this all the time. This is actually the best time of my week on Friday mornings.
I love this.
And then, I get a whole hour with you.
I love it.
I don't have to share you with nobody.
We're not sharing with anybody.
Other than 253,000 people.
Other than the viewers, we got people already asking questions about the real estate game. We'll get to that. Before we do, open-ended, a lot on people's minds.
Yeah, I
take it.
Yeah, I prefer not to go there. I prefer to celebrate who we were going to have on today, and we are going to have them on at the end of the month. And,
love it.
And my hat's off to these two ladies, Mac and Jen, Mac from State Farm and Jen from AHIP. They reached out to me late last night and said, hey, look, we've got some flu-like conditions, and, did the absolute right thing and said, okay, great. Hey, we'll reschedule. Jerry and I will have a little bit of a Keith and Jerry love fest for about an hour. But, my hat's off to them. That's the right way to do this, right? Okay, look, not feeling well. Let's give a little separation. I really wanted to showcase, and we will do this again. This is Women's Histories Month, and we will, for the next, maybe going into April, start showcasing some rock star women in our neighborhood and our community, and Jen and Mac are definitely fit that bill. And then we'll probably talk a little bit, because I was going to bounce off of Jen. Hopefully she's watching, what President Ryan just announced.
Affordable housing.
Affordable housing, yeah.
What'd you make of that?
Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It's you and I've talked about this a bunch of times. I sit on the commission, Planning District Commission, and it took about 10 years, but UVA is very much so at the table. They are engaging everybody. Though I'm not on that particular group, but since I chair the Regional Housing Partnership and on the Land Trust, we're part of this conversation, and they're really taking It's a Village concept, which we're just ecstatic about it, and keep an eye on it. Some really great stuff.
Here's the nitty gritty, and I'll throw it back to the expert Keith Smith, the University of Virginia, and President Jim Ryan, who's certainly made a very positive impact to the community.
Amen.
He announced in the middle of the week, March 10th, that the University of Virginia has established a goal to support the development of 1,000 to 1,500 affordable housing units in Charlottesville and Albemarle County over the next decade on land owned by the university and the University Foundation. So me, the layman, you, the expert. We take land that's not developed, that's owned by UVA. We have a land shortage from a housing standpoint. We're adding land. Then we're adding housing stock on this newfound land, and UVA is paying for it, and it's done in an affordable housing mindset. I mean,
you're done. I think
it's amazing, right?
I think you just did it.
Isn't it phenomenal?
Yeah, I mean, of course, nothing's ever that simple, right?
Sure.
But the fact that UVA is at the table and having the discussion with all the right players, Habitat for Humanity, the Piedmont Housing, the Land Trust, the regional governments on it. I don't think you said pay for it. I think. And really, nobody really knows what this shape is going to take, other than the ball is going forward instead of backwards, which is huge. So I think it's going to wrap more around, the land end of it. And as we discussed a bunch of times, if you can't get the land, you can't go vertical.
You, in this topic, you've been championing this topic for some time. And you, with the Regional Housing Partnership Okay? We talk about affordable housing tied to public transportation, tied to, yes, my backyard, tied to ADUs, tied to potentially tax rebates for folks that need it as gentrification is amplified, and certainly tied to the University of Virginia, one of the major players in this. Gets back to one of your favorite metaphors, not a silver bullet, but a silver buckshot.
I totally stole that. You know that, right?
It's beautiful. It's very applicable.
Well, it visually it works, right? But so I had I'll leave names out of it, but I had a couple sit downs this week with transportation folks in our community, and as we talked about it before, it's it's land or location. We need to talk about transportation. We need to talk about health, right? We're right in the middle of a situation where health is extremely important. And we can never get away from the education component. And we actually had a conversation at the Regional Housing Partnership executive level that we were looking at who was missing from the table. And we kind of realized that the education component is not at the table. So we're going to grow that component in there.
Arlene Yobs, welcome to the program. Former CAR president, Michael Guthrie.
Thank you.
CEO of Roy Wheeler, a former CAR president. Michael Guthrie says, I'm grateful for the intentionality taken by President Ryan since coming back to the University of Virginia. Michael Guthrie, very well said. Bob Slentz, hello, welcome to the program. John Dallas Campbell, Jay Bird, Tyler Berry, Trey Banks, Dr. H, hello and welcome to the program. Tripp Stewart, the entrepreneur and real estate investor, welcome to the show. Rachel Foster, watching the program as we speak.
So I want to, since you mentioned Arlene and Rachel, and I just want to give a shout out to a bunch of awesome real estate agents. Yesterday we had our Honor Society Awards for CAR. And Arlene gave an excellent presentation, and I'm reading some notes from Arlene because I asked her to give them to me. But we recognized 62 realtors, and I brought the actual application that one needs to fill out for that. Just because sometimes what does it actually take to do that? And it's
how many pages?
6 pages.
Wow.
And it's everything from
the realtor.
That's double-sided, by the way.
So we're talking 12.
Yeah.
So the realtor application to get a real estate to start the process, you got to pass the test, get the credentials.
No. So this is Honor Society.
Oh, honors. Okay.
So
sorry.
this is so we every year we do this, and it's been doing it. And Arlene can correct me, but I believe it's almost 29 years.
29 years, Arlene. Is that right? How long we've been doing the Honor Society? Question for the chat. If you guys could give us
1996. Thank you, Arlene, for the notes. But it's everything from production, how many courses you have taken, your volunteer time, and it all has to be documented. This isn't just a willy-nilly thing. This is actual. And out of 1,300 realtors, 60-something get some sort of award every year. So that's a pretty neat thing.
So we're talking 5%.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's impressive. So give us the nitty gritty. Give us the who's who. Give us the behind the scenes stories.
I'm not gonna kiss and tell in front of.
Give us something good.
Yeah, the approach that I want to take on it is, and Arlene and I had this conversation yesterday after the show, after the event. Everybody. One of the things we're trying to do on the show is get the value of the real estate agent and the realtor out there. And we're so much more than just a
transaction coordinator.
Transaction, right?
Yeah.
We contribute. And just listening to the awards that were being won yesterday, I just don't want to go into the depth on it. I think I do a lot of volunteer work, and I really don't. I mean, there's just a bunch of folks. I mean, Michael Guthrie is a prime example. Just to keep up with what he does, and Arlene does, and Quentin Beckham does, and all these people, and we give back way more than a transaction. We are a community, and I think so. Elizabeth Cromwell gave the keynote.
I heard.
And just to kind of plagiarize her a little bit, the real estate community is, I believe, the most represented at the board, at the CAR board. Excuse me, the chamber board. And Arlene or somebody might correct me on that.
And undoubtedly one of the most important categories to Central Virginia's economic ecosystem. You probably have, I mean, let's be honest, it's University of Virginia 1.
We're second, I think.
Yeah, I think maybe you would say, if you put it all in one category, maybe the service industry from restaurants and food and beverage, maybe 2. There's probably 1,200 wait staff, kitchen personnel. I would say you guys are 3. I mean, maybe you have what, like a CFA, maybe a state. I mean, State Farm can't have more team members than you. I've got to think you guys are the third most contributing category in Charlottesville's economic ecosystem.
So somebody who's a lot smarter than me might chime in on this. But what we touch.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Touche.
Right. So what we touch outside of the transaction or outside of the closing, right?
Yeah. That makes you 2.
Correct. Yeah. So we just did a closing in Old Trail, and the person who's buying it, I won't. But let's say they spend a substantial amount of money in furnishings in Charlottesville, right? Yeah. So it's not just a transaction. It's just not the lawyers. It's not just the bankers. The evergreen, to use your term, format of this just keeps on growing as far as the economy is concerned. So you said you had a couple questions coming in?
Well, Arlene's got some comments.
Sure.
Congratulations to Keith Smith and all the other realtors who have been recognized as part of not just the 2019 Car Professional Honor Society, but all the many realtors who have been members for the last 24 years. Yonna said, guys, you may need some help. It's 24 years. Yonna. Michael Guthrie says,
how many is that?
Thank you. We can count to this many, Yonna. Yonna says, I love you, Yonna. Michael Guthrie says, thank you
Can you
for
imagine,
the kind
right?
words.
Unbelievable, right?
How about this?
Being Women's Month, right? Do you know how many women in my life keep me straight?
You're overmatched. What is the name of your dog?
Oh, Syra.
Is she female?
Of course.
Okay, so it's Keith Smith.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go
and
here?
4 females, right?
Yeah. Well, a couple of them moved out already. Got their own. I used to joke around all the time. I lived in a house full of females, which I absolutely love. And we had, 4 females, 2 female dogs, a female cat. And I was pretty sure the fish were female, but when I turned them over, I couldn't tell. So I'm going with they were female. And I would not have it any other way.
I know. Well, you can't say anything else besides that.
No, I truly mean that. I
know
absolutely love it. It's just, somebody asked me the other day, wouldn't you like to have had a son? I said, nope. I love my girls. Totally love them.
You gave me some interesting statistics off air.
Yeah.
About transactions in the community.
Yeah.
The businessman in me loves those metrics, Keith.
Yeah. So since we had a quick pivot,
yep.
I kind of decided to crunch some numbers and see what we had going on this morning. And thank God to Judah. Judah literally got like 2 minutes before show. Hey.
It was 10:13 a.m. and we sent him PDFs for a 10:15 start. But to his credit, have you ever seen him flustered?
No.
Right?
No, it's just like.
It's amazing.
Constant guy.
Yeah.
I'm working on it, Jude.
Give us a heads up when they're on screen.
So let's start with the one that says 126 on it.
All right. So he's going to have that on screen. It's on screen now. Look at that. On screen now.
Unbelievable. So what I did earlier this morning, I said, let me take a look at what went under contract in the last 7 days. And so what you guys are looking at, it's roughly a 20-mile radius from UVA Hospital going out. And so we had just in the last, really not 7 days because it was 6 days, is 126 homes went under contract. And then there's a second slide that I'll ask Judah to show up. The number's 37 on that one. Thank you. That's just since Wednesday. So in 2 days, 37 homes went under contract. So everybody, the market is moving. We're moving around. This is a great time to buy, a great time to put your home on the market. Listings are picking up, which is great. I didn't run those statistics on it, but to turn over roughly 18 units a day.
That's significant.
That's a big number. And what the interesting thing on that, it doesn't include new construction. So I did a 5:30 in the morning text to some of my buddies.
Okay. You texted them at 5:30 in the morning.
I did.
They work at construction, so they get up early.
They get up early. So I reached out to the two largest production guys, Stanley Martin and Ryan.
Okay.
So I just wanted in my head to say, okay, what the heck happened in the last week? So the numbers we just went over were resales.
Uh-huh.
So Stanley Martin has a total of 16 contracts since last Friday to the end of this week. So within 7 days, they wrote 16 contracts.
Wow.
Hold on a second here.
Stanley Martin. Did you hear that stat, guys? 16 contracts for Stanley Martin, the number 2 producing builder in the community, and basically a week. Number 1 is Ryan Holmes.
Just to add a little narrative to that, this is from Chris, who was on our show. Busiest week to date.
Wow, that's worth emphasizing. Anybody that's panicking here, that's concerned, interest rates at an all-time low.
Busiest week to date.
Stanley Martin, the busiest week to date for, are we talking pendings?
So these are under contracts, right?
Under contracts.
Yeah, so I'm going to read the stat on from Andy from Ryan Holmes here in a minute. And we probably need to talk a little bit about that because the process to go under contract for resales and new construction is a little different.
Yeah.
There's more time related in it. But just as far as Ryan is going 18 by COB Sunday. So by Sunday morning in 1 week, they're going to have 18 homes under contract.
That's awesome.
And Andy's basically said the same thing. One of the best weeks that they've had in forever.
I'll throw this to you. We have.
Thank you, guys. By the way,
we have interest rates at an all-time low.
Sure.
And they, with all that's going around, the uncertainty on the markets, those rates are not going to change. If anything, those rates are going to get lower. I'm seeing 15-year fixes well sub 3.
275. I see.
275.
I see the 30-year at 275 the other day.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Look, what's currently going on, and this is my humble opinion, this is a bit of a blip. I think we're going to have a bit of a blip, and everything's going to kind of work itself out. We're going to go back up. But, I had some folks call me the other day saying, oh, my God, this is a repeat of the Depression, frankly. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a finance guy. I'm just in the trenches every day on real estate. But all the basic tenets of a good economy is still going. We didn't have all the crazy stuff where if you had a heartbeat, right, in 2004, 2005.
You got a loan.
I think even if you didn't have a heartbeat, there's some cases that loans were given out.
Right.
Given out. So all the systems are in place.
Unemployment low.
Unemployment low. We talked about this over and over and over again. And, but there's some things I do want to get into about the virus a little bit later in the show because there needs to be some practical approaches, and Yonna and I are taking them on that. But it's not, we had a debate internally, right, before the show. So I've been joking around, be like Bob.
Be like Bob.
And so
the debate was whether or not to play this graphic, and both Keith and I, we said yes.
Yeah, because we want to have fun.
Yeah,
right?
We're chill dudes, and we're a little irreverent, a little mischievous.
That would be the case.
Is that fair?
Yonna would say that. We're mischievous, yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's like any joke, right? There's always a little bit of truth into it and all this stuff. But
Bob's on screen.
Yeah. So be like Bob, right? Wash your hands, good hygiene. And, we're joking about it a little bit. But be like Jen, right? Jen said, hey, I'm not feeling well. And we all said, hey, good call. None of this is worth that, right? We'll get you on another show. We'll showcase you. I desperately want to do that. She's doing some awesome things in the community, and we'll do that. But let's just be like Bob. Let's be like Jen. Let's slow down. Let's go out and eat. We're gonna spend money. We did that after 9/11. After 9/11, we went out and spent money. I went out and bought trucks. I went out and bought RVs. I went out and bought boats. I was blessed enough to be able to do that. But we just said, this isn't who we are. This is who we are. And we just went out and did it. So,
Respect. Support businesses like Marie Bet on
Yeah,
Water Street and Rose Hill Drive.
I just went there.
Right.
Line out the door, by the way.
Jason and Patrick doing big time things.
I love those guys. They're great.
Big time things in our community. Now we have comments and questions coming in.
Sure.
We do have a finance guy that's watching the show.
Cool.
Mary from Pearl Certification says, "Good info, Keith and Jerry. You guys are awesome."
Oh.
Thank you, Mary.
Oh yeah, we need to get Mary on and.
Mary, it sounds like you're being recruited
We're being
to the
recruited.
show.
We are.
You're welcome to come on. This is a topic that's coming up from Rick. Jerry, I do work in finance, and while the market has been volatile, it's important to emphasize to both your viewers, to all your viewers, that the market was doing phenomenally well going into this week. So while we have given up some of those gains, we're still in a really good position. Please emphasize that to the viewers, and we will bounce back.
Yeah, I had a conversation with some cohorts out in Seattle. As you know, I spent a little bit of communication back and forth in the affordable housing world, but I'm also communicating with the local real estate agents out in Seattle. It was about a 2 to 4 week little blip. They're behind us where we are today in this, but they're having, again, it blipped, and it's just been rocking and rolling ever since. So, he's spot on. Everybody take a breath, be like Bob, be like Jen, and go out and be social. Wash your hands, just kind of basic stuff. And if you don't feel well, say, hey, I'm staying home.
Your colleagues are emphasizing that are realtors. Your colleagues are emphasizing that we had a very cooperative winter.
Yeah.
As well. That's really contributing to the market doing well. Let me throw that topic to you, a cooperative winter and how that's helping the spring market.
Yeah, I only can speak from Yonna and I's perspective. We so far have had our spring sprung January 2.
You called that so early on the show.
Yeah.
You said the spring market is January.
Yeah, it was literally January 2. We kind of said, hey, historically January's a little slow. We'll spend some more time, but it really hasn't been. But so let's pivot a little bit to Bob, right? Mm-hmm. And so God love National Association of Realtors. They got in front of this, and they actually sent out a hey. This is what I think you guys should be doing in reference to this. So particularly with open houses, since we have a lot of public open houses, but we had a literal situation happen this morning. And so Yonna and I kind of adopted this little program since we kind of knew this was coming. And so we have a home inspection today.
You and Yonna.
Correct.
Okay.
And the young lady is 80-something years old. We reached out to her. We said, hey, look, we got a home inspection today. She has some health concerns. So part of our job as being trusted advisors is to know our client, right? This is relational. We understood what our client's needs were, where she's at in her life. So we said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to reach out to the agent on the other side, which is an absolute pro. And we said, look, this is what we want you to do. We want you to wear boots. We want you to wear gloves. And if either you or the inspector have some flu-like symptoms, then we're going to punt this. None of this is worth. We can wait another week, right? We can amend contracts and extend the home inspection the other way. And the agent on the other side was like, "Wow, what a great idea!" So that's what we did. So and the same thing with open houses. So if you're going to have an open house, talk to your seller, right? Say, "Hey, look, so how do you want to handle this?" In our case, we're going to have booties, we're going to have hand sanitizer, we're going to have gloves there. Our agent who's shown, we're going to have a communication with the folks coming in and say, look, this is how our protocol is set up. Very relational, very friendly like. But the key here is to be consistent, right? Because we can cross swords with fair housing if you're not smart about it. So whatever policy you should set, we just got to make sure it's consistent and it goes away. And Michael Guthrie and some of the other brokers on there hopefully will echo what I'm saying. I'm sure they will. Consistency is what counts, and don't treat anybody different, right? So every policy needs to be the same. And our particular seller was just like, hey, great, this is a great idea. Just went from a panic to say, hey, let's take a breath. This is how our policy, this is how we're going to do this. Are you comfortable with this? And do you want one of us to be there? And we calmed down the situation. She was happy with the protocols, and we're moving forward with the home inspection.
A textbook example of how a realtor is more than a transaction coordinator.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And a North Star throughout an arduous process. Joshua Tracy, one of your colleagues, welcome to the show. Tom Bowe, owner of Take It Away Sandwich Shop, welcome to the program. Neil Williamson.
Hey, Neil.
Hello, and welcome to the show. Questions coming in.
Oh, please.
We'll give some love to Mike Bittrick and First Heritage Mortgage, servicing a lot of the transactions with financing, especially in the new construction game.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, all these new construction transactions got Mike's fingerprints all over it, but that doesn't mean that's all he does. So please reach out to Michael. He's great. He's matter of fact, going to get a phone call from me because I think my spread's a bit too wide, and I might take advantage of some of that.
The refi?
Don't tell Yonna about that.
Talk to us. Okay, not. I got a question for you.
Sure.
Not specific to you, in general terms. When does it make sense to refinance?
So that's a real personal. Each individual has their own reasoning, and a lot of it is time, where you're at in it. So we've been in our house for 18 years, right? So is there a value? Is there a return on investment, right? This is a terminology we use all the time, right? Is there a return on investment for me to go 2 points or 3 points down? It's going to cost me X dollars. But if I'm only going to stay in the house, Mrs. Smith is listening, for a couple of years, yes, Mrs. Smith, I understand that we're only going to be in, right? So the math might not work. On the other side, if you are in the house for a couple, 3 years, right, and you can save 2 points and you can monetize it out over, hey, I'm going to be in the house for 7 to 10 years. So you kind of look at the time as a big issue in that end of it. I think when we crunch the numbers, I think what it's going to cost us to do it, what we're going to save, and how short we're going to stay in the house, which is probably not going to make that money back up in 24 months or 36 months or something like that. So I gave out my address, and I told you when I was moving.
And how many years you have left on the mortgage?
And how many years I have left on the mortgage.
Well, that's why this show is good, because you're genuine and authentic.
Yeah, sure.
Ray Cadell says this, and this is a good comment that you'll appreciate.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Ray. Well done. He'll know what I'm talking about.
Ray, you're getting congratulations from Keith. He says, anytime I have spearheaded a community effort, I have reached out to Car First for help from our membership. They never let me down, and for years without Car, there would have been no 4th of July event in McIntyre Park.
Great.
Car, a benefit to our community.
Michael Guthrie told me something yesterday, because Roy Wheeler Realty is very much so active in AHIP, right? And we've donated and so forth. But the house party that AHIP does every year, it actually started in our office, which I did not know.
Did not know that either.
I did not know that yet. So the first several years. So, Ray's spot on, and my congratulations to Ray. He put it on Facebook, so it gets out there in the world. He made some magic happen, and his daughter's coming back from France. So that's good stuff. So congratulations, Ray.
Well, welcome Janice Cavanaugh, a talented realtor from Nest Realty. She's watching the program.
Oh, man.
Good morning, Janice. We have our common client, John Kerber,
Hey, John.
custom home developer, Dominion Custom Homes, watching now. Good morning, John.
Good morning, John. I'm flattered that these high caliber people really wish to hear what you and I are talking about. I thought we were just going to have coffee and BS for an hour.
John Kerber, the visionary behind Profit Ridge.
Profit Ridge, absolutely.
This question is coming up a lot.
Got to get out there and take a look at Profit Ridge. It's pretty cool.
Profit
place.
Ridge is beautiful.
Yeah.
It is undoubtedly a gem in northern Albemarle County. The tiny home topic is coming up a lot. Let me put that to the side for now.
Geez, I wonder why.
It's interesting.
It
is interesting. This coming from your brother-in-law. He attended an Albemarle County Planning Commission meeting in the middle of the week.
Yeah, he did.
And he says, Keith, how do we expand the mindset of baby boomers in suburban areas about affordable housing? I attended an Albemarle County Planning Commission meeting for a project that will provide 50 affordable units in the urban ring, and several community members sadly expressed concerns about affordable housing coming to their backyard. This is one of your passions.
Sure.
Anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is NIMBYs and YIMBYs, right?
Right.
So NIMBYs is not in my backyard, YIMBYs is yes in my backyard, right? And believe it or not, I keep on bringing up the West Coast on this, but they've really been in front of these kind of things. James, it's really simple. You do what you're doing. Go to the meetings, get in front of the mic, and I'm pretty sure you're a millennial. James.
James.
Okay.
James has a millennial spirit.
There you go. That worked.
Just like you.
I love it. Absolutely. Yeah. But get in front of the mic and say, hey, this is how I feel. And because the people in the planning commission, the people at the board of supervisors, they're smart folks and they do their own homework and they got great staff that educate them on stuff. But, they don't know what they don't know, right? And take an opportunity and reach out to them. They really do listen and share that with you. It's, I get NIMBYism. It's a hard thing to get around. People are passionate.
Do you get it? I have a hard, do you get it?
I understand it.
Okay.
There's a difference.
There is a difference. Well said.
I understand it, and I understand that the folks that say this believe that, and you have to respect that. You have to treat them with respect. You have to not demean them or anything. You just have to have an actual conversation. So please, Jerry, I just need you to tell me why you really feel this way, and have a conversation. Do what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
And just have a conversation.
And what are the commonalities?
On what now?
On why it's so boisterously no to the development, and not only just like vocal, organized. Yeah. Spend the time at the meetings to go in numbers
because they believe in it, right? They're on. You have to respect that. You have to respect the fact that they believe this. If you agree with them or not is a different story. But you have to respect them, and you have to respect their opinion on it, and you have to listen to them because you can't have an argument. Now, I've been at some meetings with NIMBYs that won't listen to you. Now, that's a problem, right? I respect you. I respect your opinion, but I like to share my opinion with you. And, if they shut down and don't listen, then I lose respect for them. You can feel the way you feel, and you can be passionate about it, and they believe it. I may not agree with the rationale, but if you're passionate about something, I'm going to respect you for it. And we'll walk away, we won't shake hands now, we'll fist bump.
Yeah, we're doing the elbows.
We're doing the elbow, jazz hands.
Yeah, so. Jazz hands.
Well, that's Elizabeth Cromwell's thing, jazz hands.
Yeah, my wife came from music class with our son and said they're all doing jazz hands now instead of high fives.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you love throwing these tough ones at me. You can't throw a softball at me.
The reason I do is because I know you can handle it.
Yeah,
you hit a grand slam.
Well, we can pick individual items apart, but at the end of the day, you need to respect the other person and their views and have an open and clear and honest discussion about it. And that's it. And we may not end up on the same side of the fence, but we're not going to be angry with each other either. We're going to go out and have a beer.
That's right. That's right. Neil Williamson shares a thread from the Free Enterprise Forum about the value of having someone in your backyard. Michael Guthrie shares a story link about the CAR roster and how we're managing CAR, the coronavirus.
There you go.
James says, I'm a Gen Xer. Neil
Sorry about
is
that,
giving James props. Neil is James props. About speaking for the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission passed 5-2 this project, Parkway Place, which I'm going to see how this continues to mature the project. We have some other questions coming in about Charlottesville and the real estate market. This question coming in from one of your colleagues, Jerry and Keith. I think the Charlottesville real estate market is going to stay hot. There's just not enough inventory. And while the students are gone, and this makes me a little bit nervous, I still think the demand is going to be there for this community, especially in the city of Charlottesville.
Well, you can get Bodos real easy now.
What did you think when the students were not coming back to grounds? What was your first thing that came to mind?
Well, summer's back.
Summer's back? Yeah.
I can go to Bodos and get a egg sandwich and a coffee.
Do you think that, and this is two guys talking, April 5th they reassess?
Yeah.
Do you think they come back second semester, or do you think it's just going to be a safe play all the way to the fall semester?
Man, that's way above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Look, in my opinion, what everybody's doing is very smart. Timing it out. Let's let this thing work itself out a little bit. I had a conversation with a gentleman a doc that I know that's in the infectious world. And I said, so how's things going? I wanted to hear it from his perspective. And he gave me an interesting statistic. He said 50% of his number of cases or things he's dealing with, there's 50% reduction in the death from the regular flu. And I went, really? And he goes, well, duh. People are actually washing their hands. If they, like Jen, if they didn't feel right, they're not engaging with other people. So not that this is a good thing at all, but if it helps that a little bit, that may be a silver lining on it. So, he was like, just use common sense.
I agree.
Be like Bob.
Do we see, we have scuttlebutt of maybe some kind of economic stimulus, maybe taxes being delayed, interest rates staying low. I think what's going to end up happening is it's going to test us in the short term, but the community is going to return back to form and be stronger than ever. I think because this is such a coveted place to live, the real estate market is going to stay hot. This inventory situation is in some ways a positive in circumstances like this because it's going to maintain demand, having this lack of inventory. For somebody like you with Yonna and your team, as we're heading into Q2, Q3, does the mindset change? Does the strategy change?
I don't think so. I truly believe that this is a bit of a blip, right? We just need to be conscious about it. We need to be honest about it, right? We need to put procedures in place. We need to have honest conversations with the buyers and the sellers. We need to be consistent with those conversations and say, hey, these are our new protocols. People will understand that. But, we've got a full weekend of showing houses set up. Nobody's canceled. Nobody said, hey, I don't want to do this. We got open houses set up for this weekend. We put the protocols in place. We over-communicate with everybody. And that's what we need to do. We just need to communicate. I think we talked about it earlier. The tenets of what is making this engine go at the moment is still there, right? Interest rates are low. Unemployment's low. The stock market's doing this. But, to be frank with you, the stock market doing this is probably only affecting a very small number of people that are in the market, right? Maybe different price points. But, at the everyday price point, of $250, $750, or whatever the number is in that point, it's not having much, at least I'm seeing it at the moment, much effect on that. We're keeping a close eye on it. But, just be like Bob. Just be calm. Everything will be okay. And go out and have a cocktail somewhere and go have some dinner and spread some love and just get out there and just live life.
Zenas Choi, welcome to the program.
Congratulations. He rocked it yesterday. He won
Affiliate
of
the Year.
Thank you very much. Affiliate of the Year.
Congratulations, Zenas. You look very sharp and dapper. What you were wearing.
Did you see the pocket square?
Oh, I did. I saw the pocket square, Zenas. Hair was on point as well, Zenas. Well done. April Marshall, Mark Wogman, welcome to the program.
Any questions out there?
The tiny house topic is coming up.
Again? Huh.
Yeah.
Jeez, I wonder why.
I'm
going to sip coffee and not answer this.
We don't often get to speak to somebody of your acumen and skill set that has been in construction, in development, and is a realtor and has a good feel for the market.
I feel it coming.
I'm just curious of what you...
Well, first of all, I believe in tiny houses because I've been promoting it.
Another reason to ask you.
And I believe in auxiliary dwelling units because I've been promoting it for years. And that I think that this is a solution or potential, or one of the silver bullets of the buckshot for affordable housing. And it's not the panacea. It is not the, hey, this is going to solve all our world's problems as far as affordable housing is concerned. But it's good. I'm a little concerned about price point. it's some of these things are well over $300,000, and I'm a little concerned what message that sends out to the affordable housing buyer, which clearly that's not the price point that buyer's at. So
Okay, let's go down that road.
Sure.
The price point road.
Hold on a second. Okay. We're going to have fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Price point road. The first one in Belmont was 820 square feet, a
Yeah.
beautifully renovated one.
Absolutely.
By an agent who is also owner from Ness, and Andrea Hubble.
Yeah, sure.
379 list. That home already went under contract.
Sure did.
Like 4 days.
Yep.
What did you make of that transaction?
So first of all, it's the market, right? So we
Yeah.
gotta let the market do what the market does. Excellent. It was well done, right? The renovation was freaking awesome. So from that perspective, you kind of just doing the ROI end of it, it's really not that far off. So the builder had on me, right? Sometimes, to build something small, and these ADUs are small, these tiny houses are small.
Costs more.
Oh, considerably more.
Yeah. Walk me through that.
Well,
Because people don't. I had a hard time understanding that
Yeah.
at first. Because you initially think smaller, it's
No.
got to cost less.
No. Yeah, so it's literally the struggle that we're working with the ADU, because the problem is you can't really get an ADU auxiliary dwelling unit built for much under $150,000. That's anywhere close to decent. But at the end of the day, a bathroom is a bathroom. A kitchen is a kitchen, so those big top ticket items are still there. You still need to heat and cool it, and sometimes then you have now contractors that come in that a drywall guy, right? So if I'm hanging 300 boards, there's an economy in scale. If I'm hanging 50 boards, I still got to put manpower on the job site. I still got to get there. I still got to pay the drywall guys X double of an hours. It's still going to take time. So the price per board, and is how drywall is budgeted out, goes up. The price per square foot goes up. Same thing applies for electrician, right? If I'm only putting in 50 electrical boxes, it's just the manpower, or the person power, frankly, and is still there. I'm still paying this electrician X dollars an hour to be there for 8 hours. If it's this big or this big, I'm still there. And they're able to produce more. So this terminology, economy and scale,
Yeah.
right? So, and it's interesting because we're doing a couple of new construction builds, and you can't, they're customs. And if you want to reduce the price, sometimes carving out square footage in the middle of a house doesn't equate to the full number, because I'm not taking a kitchen out. I'm not taking a bathroom out. Does that make any sense?
That makes perfect sense. That was very well played. First, let's give some love to Charlottesville Settlement Company, Bill Tucker.
Yeah, man, I just love them to death. They just always make magic happen. Never have a problem. They're all about can do, get a closing. I can't tell you the last time, if ever, we had a closing go sideways. Those are the guys that you need to hire.
The second one went on the market this week.
I knew you were
and
gonna
it's
steal
one
the
of
go
your
there.
Roy Wheeler colleagues. This one is 775 square feet, and this one's priced a little bit more affordably. And this one's at a 239 list,
On King
775
Street.
square feet.
On King Street,
On
right?
King Street. 2 beds, 1 bath, 308 per square, 0.16 acres.
So one of the great things about that is walkability. So one of the things that we have now, and we've had it for quite some time, in our MLS system and our program, you can search property by walkability score. So I can walk to the hospital.
Walk
I
everywhere.
can walk to the downtown mall.
Yeah, corner,
Corner.
dairy market, your buddy's place.
Yeah. So Chris Henry's place. Yeah, absolutely. So but that similar situation, right? They bought it. They renovated it. The renovation costs are more expensive. So talk about costs. New construction versus renovation is about double, right? So, a price per square foot. So that's the reason, every time we talk price per square foot, I get a little squirming in my seat, because there's so many factors that go into that. But typically, it's much more expensive to renovate something than build new. Right, so you're in the advertisement business, right? So if I give you a website that I already have,
We got an entry number, no matter if it's 10-page website, or you're 100% right.
So what I would assume you would do is you would take my website, say thank you very much, hit delete, and start all over again, because the time it takes to rebuild one that's already there.
That's 100% factually correct.
So that's the same, for instance, same theory for renovation versus new construction.
We get that question all the time. So many clients come to us that have the initial conversation. I already have a website in place. You can use this website as the baseline. It takes more time for us to learn the code than to start.
We had that conversation.
Than to start from to zero.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Or it's the same thing, right? If you you write a document or do something, sometimes it's easier to start fresh than kind of work on something that's already been there. Look, the market is telling you what it is. It's turning around. The money is extremely cheap. It's a good thing. My soapbox is, man, I just want to do this for affordable housing. I'm totally cool with that. I'm cool with the market doing what it's doing. God bless America. But can we let that help some other folks? I mean, there should be a $215,000 house somewhere around King Street, or $225,000 or $200,000.
We have a message from someone who lives on King Street that's watching the show.
Cool.
This is from Gloria Beard. Jerry, love the show. Please relay this to Keith. They want to move us out of King Street. I've been getting offers on Facebook Messenger, and I haven't even advertised my house.
Yeah.
This is crazy for me.
Yeah.
This is from Gloria Beard.
Yeah.
She lives on King Street, has people cold calling her to buy her house through Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Literally put it on the feed.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? She obviously has lived on the street a long time.
Yeah. I know Gloria. And I don't know what to say, other than, if it's good for Gloria and good for her family, and then she should consider it. But, it's not going to help the affordable housing buyer or help Gloria stay in her home. Now, again, I'm a market guy. I'm a business guy, but we use this term all the time: conscious capitalist, right? Got to do the right thing. And but that's a tough question to answer. I think that's the first time I stuttered on 60 shows.
Well, no, I understand why you're stuttering, because there's not really, and you're getting the request from family to check your phone.
Oh.
Jessica Russo, Nest Realty, welcome to the program. It's an interesting topic, and now you're multitasking. It's not easy to do in a live setting. It's an interesting topic because if a resident on, what am I missing over here, Harry? What am I missing, Harry? Oh, this is adorable. I love that. Can we go on the, can I put this on?
Sure.
Okay. Judah, go on the one shot here. The family's watching the show on the big screen. I love that.
And my grandson is watching me.
Grandson's watching. Al Schwarnberg, Keswick Vineyards owner, welcome to the program. So literally someone on King Street is saying it makes the neighborhood nervous, transactions like that. And it's like this is where I'm torn on. I'm torn on this because
I get it.
Small business owner.
Yeah, I get it.
Also torn on it because you're passionate about Charlottesville. The only way to
well, it's not Charlottesville. It's
everywhere.
Region.
Yeah. So how do you solve that? The tax rebate, that's the only potential option to keep the gentrification from happening. Yeah,
so, excuse me for a second.
Yeah.
Judah, I just shot you that picture if you want to pop it up. So we go back to the silver buckshot versus the silver bullet, right? And I can't remember her property specifically, but one of my things I've been pushing is the promotion of ADUs, auxiliary dwelling units, and a promotion through the city by where the city would offer a substantial savings or grant or offer some sort of financing scenario where an auxiliary dwelling unit can be put on there so that additional income can be brought in, or an affordable housing buyer can go in there. No, Gloria, frankly, always can say no. Thank you very much. Stop messaging me. I'm happy. Which, if I know her well enough, that's probably what she's going to say. But that doesn't solve the pressure problem. And I believe this wholeheartedly. Some people disagree with me, but sometimes more is better, not less is better. So that there needs to be an increase of product to take some pressure off of this. And I know Neil has written a bunch of articles about this. So if there's a way that we can increase density, but do it in such a way that we're not building these huge monstrosities or huge buildings, or we can try to adopt some of the programs that they're doing out west or Minneapolis, where we increase density, where Gloria can increase density on our property, put some affordable housing on it. That will kind of set the market a little bit right, in my opinion. But this is very high philosophical conversation you and I are having, and I think this is about as close to me worming in my seat that you ever got me to.
John Craig, Keller Williams Alliance, welcome to the program. That's what excites me so much about the UVA jumping in the game.
Yeah, sure.
With the 4 watt, to
Sure.
1,000 to 1,500 new units.
Well, I think that just echoes what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it does.
Let's put some density out there.
More stock on new land that wasn't expected.
But, and there's always a but, it just needs to be done thoughtfully. What impact does it have on transportation, right? How are we bringing transportation along with that? And what I'm hoping to do, and eventually we're going to have actually some transportation guys sitting across from us, is transportation has gotten a little bit, let's say, siloed. It seems to me, and again, I don't only peripherally know about this conversation, that some of the providers are not communicating with each other. So we need to kind of grow that a little bit, and I think there's some steps going in that right direction, and how we're going to get people to and from, right? So the reason why King Street's going so quickly is I can walk wherever I want.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal location. Neil
But
says...
thank you very much to Gloria for chiming in. I appreciate that.
Neil says more housing at all prices everywhere for
Sure.
everyone.
Yeah.
And we can't agree with that more. We have other questions coming in here saying, do we expect that to happen? This is a good question. Keith, do you expect that to happen all down Fifeville? Basically alluding to the domino effect that's going to happen. Once someone sees one home selling like this, how that's going to impact the other ones.
I think that's been going on for a while.
It has been.
This is I think, and kudos to you. I think you're just showcasing it a little bit more through your network, right?
Yeah.
And getting in front of a considerable amount of people. But if you take some time and read through the recent transactions and sales, it's been going on for a while. That neighborhood is going through whatever transition, for lack of a better term. I'm not a big fan of the word gentrification, but it's changing.
It's changing.
Yeah. But there's opportunities there. So there's a piece of property, we all know it, on Cherry Avenue across from Tosno Park.
You're talking the Kim's Market property. Yeah.
I'll just say this publicly because I've been saying it. I've been trying.
You've been advocating it forever.
For 3 years,
Yeah.
I've been trying to put money together to make that happen. It is the right location. It's zoned right. If you take a look at the Cherry Avenue, a small area plan, somebody is able to do exactly what the residents of Cherry Avenue or Fifeville want to do. But I just can't get the right money and the right people on board with it. I know the city's on board with it.
The owner of the property, Chris Kabash, is representing.
Yeah.
She is a fantastic lady that lives in Earlysville.
Yeah, absolutely.
She wants to sell the property.
Absolutely. Totally.
It's not
Totally wants to sell it.
right. Like yesterday.
Yeah, and willing to work, by the way. Willing to work with the buyer to help them achieve this. But, the pieces of the puzzle I just haven't been able to put together yet. So, hope maybe the spinoff, and I may be wrong, but maybe the spinoff of what just happened on King Street and what you're pumping out, I may get some more traction on it. But, I need a couple of partners to put together on that and make the Cherry Avenue vision happen. It can happen, and it'll be right. It's a food desert, right? The way it's zoned and the way it's set up, that can be solved. Affordable housing can be solved. There's need for retail over there, I mean, if you, and one of these days I'll post it on it, but if you go through the Cherry Avenue small area plan, it's perfect. But it's been a struggle to bring everybody else along. For 3 years I've been fighting it.
Yonna says on a general level, if one home comes on the market, 7 other people are considering making a move and selling their home as a result.
I told you she was smart. Good looking too.
That's quite an impact.
It is, yeah. And so again, just and we really had no agenda today. We were just two guys.
It's going well.
BS, and thank you. You know, that's why I'm passionate about this Kim's Market, this Cherry Avenue thing. And, you know, he wants to sell it. They want to sell it. I just need to bring the capital along. And I think there's enough smart people out there listening.
Your show, you know, how about a show around that?
Sure.
The potential for it, what needs to happen, the opportunity. I mean, because that is like a landmark
it checks
property.
Checks all the boxes.
Right?
Right on a bus route.
Yeah.
Right? Can get to UVA, can get to downtown.
The gateway to Fifeville.
Gateway to Fifeville. But it has to be done right. And the Cherry, like I keep on repeating this, but the small area plan for Cherry Avenue is the perfect model for it. Well done, well thought out. You know, I'm on the commission, so I got to say all positive things about it, but it's absolutely true. And the reality of it is it's doable. We just need to bring the capital along. That's the struggle at the moment.
This topic comes in from Neil. He goes, is this the potential UVA land trust model with what UVA is doing with the UVA Foundation in affordable housing?
So Neil's a sharp guy. And that's as soon as I've got that phone call from senior UVA staff that they gave me the heads up that they were going to do this announcement, you know, the second words out of my mouth was, do you realize I'm also the chairman I'm also on the land trust board, and here's a great model, and it's forever ownership. So all these discussions are happening. So Neil's spot on. You know, look, I mean, staying on the Kim's Market thing, I know it's not UVA land, but maybe there's some capital there for the acquisition. I mean, at the moment, once we get past the acquisition of it, we've got the capital to do everything else.
Right?
Yeah, I just got to get the acquisition.
Keith Smith, we'll give some love now to Mac Weems, State Farm.
Yeah.
We're going to welcome Mac back to the show.
Yeah, last Friday of this month, Mac and Jen's going to come back. You know, they're just, my hat's off to those two ladies. Did absolutely the right thing, and postponed the show, and I agreed with it.
This is a topic that has come up again, and why don't we button it up this way?
So do I get the gauntlet or not?
Should I ask you the gauntlet?
I don't know. How does that work? Is that like a bit schizophrenic?
No, I can fire the gauntlet to you.
I'm only kidding.
I think you should take a final word to the agents that are watching, the business owners that are watching, anywhere you want to go on everything that's happening on social and television.
Be like Bob.
Be like Bob, Judah.
Be like Bob.
Get that on screen.
Yeah, it's okay. Communicate with your clients. Be open. That's all. We do this anyway. So everybody's watching here. I can't see who's on it, but they're all pros. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, just communicate. Be open. Be honest. You know, from my perspective, be very careful about fair housing. Don't. You know, whatever program you set up, it's consistent all the way across the board. Don't treat Jerry different than Keith, and everybody will be fine. It's the basics of what we do for a living and how we help people, right? Food, housing, and shelter. We're one of the top 3. It hasn't changed at the moment.
What's planned for the weekend?
We're working all weekend. We got houses to show, open houses to do. Maybe write a contract or 2. It's we're excited. You know. We're positive guys anyway, so
right,
we don't really do that. Maybe I might ask you some questions.
Please.
So I don't think you ever answered this. So what would be on your bucket list?
Wow. What would be on my bucket list? My wife would certainly say travel more.
Okay.
I would say spend more time with my son. I work quite a bit, as you know.
Yeah, sure.
Travel, spend more time with my son. My brother's in California. Don't get to see in Los Angeles working for Snapchat. Don't get to see him enough. See my brother, his wife, and my niece and nephew. I've been so razor focused over 12 years of running this business on growing it
Yeah.
that, the opportunity cost has been missing a lot of stuff. So I would say like my bucket list would be like,
Spend more.
yeah, get outside the business.
That's an honorable thing that you said, and we showed pictures of our grandson,
Yeah.
and it's just hard to believe he's what Yasmina will correct me, 14, 15 months old, something like that. It's like yesterday he was born.
Yeah. My little boy is turning 2 March 20th.
Yeah.
And some days it feels like 20 minutes. Now there's some days it feels like 20 years.
Yeah.
But it's flown by.
Well, don't let the days get in the way of the years, right?
Ooh, say that again?
Yeah, don't let the days get in the way of the years, right? So
Yes.
sometimes you got to let the day go by.
That's good advice.
And just focus on the years, because it's true. And we're blessed with 2 daughters. One, I guess maybe she's watching. She's okay with it. 134 and 126, I think. Man, literally, it was like yesterday. And that's what happens. So sometimes you get buried in the day, you kind of miss the years. So focus on the years, not the days. The days get forgotten, the years do not.
Yonna had some kind things to say. You're doing an amazing job, Jerry. Life is worth living.
Yeah, we actually I talked to her this morning.
Well said, Yonna.
Yeah, and I said, "Well, honey, you want to come on?" And she goes, "No, you and Jerry just got this chemistry thing. I don't want to get in the middle." Excuse me. See, I'm getting all choked up. See?
Well, a good example is we're 65 minutes in.
Are we really? Oh,
What time did you think it was?
Now I know what time it is.
I mean, it flies by.
I thought we were in 30 minutes or so. Didn't realize we were
flies
that far.
by.
Good.
No, 2 dudes talking real estate, having a coffee.
Just since no FCC rules, we're bullshitting. That's all we're doing. 2 guys bullshitting.
Yeah.
So let me see. We did advice with you. What's the best advice you ever got? We did that. What's the latest book you read?
Wow. I haven't read a lot I read magazines constantly.
So
read a lot online. I mean, I read every week. Read the Journal daily.
Good for you. Wall Street.
Yeah, Wall Street Journal daily. Daily Progress. Read that daily. Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur magazine, Forbes magazine, Money. Read those monthly.
So you and I are very much alike. I
have a voracious appetite for reading.
Yes, so
Voracious.
do I, but not the long form version of it. It's funny. It's the opposite of what we do, right? This is the long form format of conversation, but I tend to read laser focused articles, get as much information as I can in my noodle, right? And then kind of move on. The only time I actually read a book is when we go on vacation and I read a book. Which, speaking of which, a positive. We booked our trip the other day.
To? When? Which month? I don't like when you go on vacation. That means I can't do this show with you. When?
Well, if you figure out this
you would jump in?
If you figure this out, this Wi-Fi thing, we can go do this. No, so our normal, we go away for our wedding anniversary every year.
When is your anniversary?
May 26th.
You're leaving in May?
Something like that.
I don't like that. Congratulations.
Last week of May, first week of June. I'm probably not supposed to tell anybody that. I think I just did. But the point is we booked the flights yesterday in the rental car. It was a good time to fly, good time to book flights.
What kind of discount did you have on that versus normal? You're talking probably like 60, 70% less than normal, right?
I paid a third of what we normally pay.
You paid a third?
Of what we normally pay.
So you had a 2/3 reduction?
I had a 2/3 reduction.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, honey, where do you want to go next? Good time to buy flights now.
Yeah. Can I ask you a number to put in perspective, what it normally is? Or just one ticket?
So we group it. Richmond, St. Martin.
Straight?
No. It goes through Atlanta.
Okay.
And then a rental car. $800 for 2 people.
Get out.
2 weeks.
Round trip.
That
is a steal.
Oh, yeah.
That's a steal. And that's
normally
going
So the reason I said
that's
no,
normally
time out. You just said this thing about spending more time with your family and your kids. I'm offering this in front of 253,000 people. I'll sit in your seat, take your family out, and go on a vacation.
Right. Well, you know.
Go and do it. Book it now.
You know now we're in the middle of a move.
I know that.
So we're packing.
That's a bullshit excuse. Go take
That
a
is.
spend time with your family.
You heard that, Mrs. Miller? I do not have to pack. Keith says I do not have to
No,
pack.
I didn't say that at all.
Mrs. Miller.
I said I'd sit in your seat. I did not say that.
Every time I come home, she's like, "You're packing one box."
There you go.
Packing's a pain in the what.
You know what my definition of packing is, and we have one on the side of our house right now because we're renovating it.
What is it?
A 40-yard dumpster.
Yeah. So you're just purge.
Well, we also have 32 years of purging to do.
Yeah. Purging's not easy for everybody.
It's hard.
Yeah. Because everything you have has a memory
value
attached.
To it. Absolutely, yeah, sure. When Yasmina was here last week, we said, "Hey, we're gonna do this thing. Go through your room. What do you want?" And that took a little longer than we thought.
And did she say, "I want everything"?
No, actually, the opposite.
She said, "Throw it all away."
Well, yeah.
Yasmina.
Yeah. Well, we decided to do
Even
different.
the trophies.
Yeah. Well, the pictures of her drawing that, we kept a lot of that stuff. But anyway, we're way over, brother, and I know you've got a show.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate everything you do. Judah, thanks, man. You know, we couldn't do this without you. Thank you.
We'll archive this show on the Yes Team Realtors website, the YesTeamRealtors.com. Keith and Yonna, trusted advisors in the real estate game. Thank you kindly for watching. The show is Fridays from 10:15 to 11 and change on the I Love CVille Network. Do you have an idea of next Friday?
I do.
Yeah.
We're going to have Abby Tammin from Carin and Beth Hader from Car to talk about the convention center and all the great stuff. Again, my motif of this month is showcasing some awesome women, and those two ladies are absolutely awesome.
I love it. That'll be a good show.
So
Watch us.
Go out and eat. Go
Yeah.
out and
I was just going to say that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you take it. Literally, I was just going to say that.
I think I just did.
Just go out and eat.
Go out and eat,
Support
man.
local.
Go out and eat. Go out and watch some live music.
Yeah.
Just use your head. That's all. Everything will be fine.
I totally agree. Support the businesses that need the help now more than ever. Support the local businesses, our neighbors, guys. Keep the money in the community, please.
Amen.
This is Real Talk. It's powered by the Yes Team Realtors. Keith and Yonna Smith, trusted advisors in the real estate game. Take care. Bye. Gee, I had like no worry.
Yeah.
Move on. Good job, Judah.